years of squatting every day. I feel weird sharing this, and at the same time, I feel like it's something worth sharing. And this is not going to be what you're expecting. So it's a lesson, if you will. And so it's Father's Day, and of course, I'm thinking about my father. I lost my father on Father's Day. So, what does that have to do with squatting? My father passed while I was sitting there holding his hand and talking to him. When I was talking to my brother, we were talking about my dad's favorite songs, and my dad took a deep breath, then took a second deep breath, and that was it. So what does this have to do with squatting? Well, I went home and I squatted. Sounds weird, right? You just lost your dad and you go home and you squat. I did the same thing though whenever I lost my dog. I was holding Zoe in my arms as she passed. She had lost so much blood that we weren't even able to place an IV or anything for her, and so I held her in my arms, and she just slowly stopped breathing, and so she passed in my arms, and I went home and I squatted. That was 6 years ago that I lost Zoe. And it was 2 years ago that I lost my father. And I have been squatting every single day for more than 6 years now. I was doing this before Zoe passed even. So before I lost Zoe, I was squatting every day for a long time, and then I ended up in the hospital with an adrenal crisis that put a stop to my squat every day. I don't know, world record, if you will. I'm kidding. I'm sure there is someone in Russia who is a very serious weightlifter who has been squatting every day for the last 20 years. So I don't think there's anything impressive about me telling you that I squat every day for the last 6. It's meaningless. There's somebody out there who's been doing it probably for their whole life. But what I am trying to share here is squatting. I'm not trying to set a world record. I'm not even squatting for the sake of squatting more weight. I'm not chasing 415 or something. Okay? I squat for the sake of squatting. Like, I just squat to squat. Yeah, that's it. I don't even care. And I've said it before in previous videos. I've shared it on Instagram. I've talked about this. I came home from the hospital. I'm still looped on anesthesia. And you know what I did that day? I just squatted in an empty bar. I just did 10 sets of 10 with an empty bar. I was too dizzy with the anesthesia to do anything more than that. And that was hard as it was, because I felt like the floor was moving. So I'm like trying to squat an empty bar, which should be super easy. But it felt like the floor was moving. And I was like, well, I'm not going to put weight on this because I'm probably going to lose my balance and fall on the floor. So I just squatted an empty bar. So why do we even bother, right? Why not just take the day off? And I don't want to, I don't know how to explain this in a different way other than to talk about someone else's thing. But, this admiral, as a Navy SEAL, talked about the importance of making your bed each day, right? Because at least you've accomplished this thing. It's this anchor point, right? This one thing you do every day is that you make your bed every day. And I don't think you have to make your bed every day. I think you just need anything at all, as sort of an anchor point in your day. So no matter what happens today, tomorrow, any day at all, You have this one habit, this one routine, this one thing that you always do, and it gives you some sense of normalcy in life. Because there's nothing normal about life. At least not my life. My life has been filled with, like, people think COVID was this unusual, stressful thing, and I'm like, that was minor compared to some of the weird shit I've run into in my life. You want chaos. The first time I ever talked to Julie, she accidentally called me. I kid you not. She accidentally butt dialed me, and that was how we ended up having like a 3-hour long conversation. That's how I met her. And I told her in that very first conversation, assuming that I would never even meet this person, and I told her that I bring chaos everywhere I go. That is my life. I told her that in our first conversation, that chaos is my life, and I just bring chaos everywhere that I go. Now, this has nothing to do with you, and I don't care if you squat every day, but I am sharing that for me, this big lesson that I have taken away from years now of just doing the same damn thing every day, is that no matter what happens today, no matter how weird of a day it is, no matter how stressful it is, no matter how fucked up it is, no matter what bad thing happens, what good thing happens, what bizarre thing happens, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna squat. That's it. That's my one normal thing. And maybe that's not normal. Maybe to someone else that's like, why would you ever squat? I hate doing squats. And that's fine. Go do something else. Maybe you want to bench press every day. I don't care. Maybe you want to do push-ups every day. Maybe you go for a run every day. It doesn't matter. Pick something, anything at all. Preferably a physical activity, because I do think that we need to have a physical outlet. I think that too many people sit around and they don't get their physical energy out. That's why so many kids have ADHD, which I don't even buy into anymore. I was diagnosed with ADHD, and I think it's just that you want a kid to sit in a fucking desk for 8 hours a day. Oh, surprise, they don't like to stay in their seat. So maybe a little physical activity is all they actually need. Now, I find it really interesting. After I work out, I'm super calm and able to focus. I can sit and read for hours. But before that, I can't sit down and read a book. I feel restless. But if I get a good workout in, I can sit down and read textbooks. So I just think that sometimes you need to have a physical outlet. And for me, it's just squatting. I just squat. And I don't even care how much I squat. There are days I come in and I work up to 185 pounds and I'm like, you know what? I'm just not feeling it today. 185 feels heavy, so I'm just going to try to do 30 reps in as few sets as possible. I'll just pick a number. So I'm going to do 30 reps total with 185, and I'm going to do it in as few sets as possible. So maybe the first set I get 10. And I'm probably not going to get 10 on every set, but that's good enough. Maybe I get 3 sets of 10. I've done that. I've just done 10, 10, 10 and been done. It's not like there's a time limit on this or there's a duration that you have to hit either. It's not like I'm going to go squat for 2 hours. Sometimes I come down and I work up to a heavy single and I'm done in 15 minutes. That's it. It doesn't have to be some marathon session. I can hit a heavy single in 12 minutes and I'm done. It makes it sustainable, right? If I needed to have 2 hours every single day, what do I do on a day where it's absolutely chaotic and I barely have any time? But hey, with this flexibility of just, hey, I'm going to do something today, I can be done in 15 minutes. Who doesn't have 15 minutes? Sometimes I do it right before I go to bed. I'm just like, you know what? It's been a long day. I'm going to spend 15 minutes squatting. I'm just going to work up to one heavy single, take a shower, go to bed. It works. It is just this anchor point in my day, though. That's the point that I'm trying to share with you. Is not about squatting every day. This has nothing to do with squatting every day and everything to do with squatting every day. Does that make sense? I hope so. I hope you understand. This has nothing to do with the actual action of you doing squats. But it has everything to do with the fact that you're doing something. One thing that is routine, it's ordinary, it is this anchor point in your day. So no matter what happens, you just do this thing, and then you have this sense of like, yep, I did it. I checked the box today. It's like you just show up. So it's really no different than the whole make your bed thing. But I think making your bed is, I make my bed every day. Okay? I make the bed every single day. I don't feel a sense of normalcy or accomplishment from making a bed, though. That takes barely any time at all. It's something about the physical outlet of doing some work. And maybe you go swing a sledgehammer or something, swing a kettlebell. It doesn't matter what it is. But the physical outlet of doing something like squatting is enough that I feel like I did something. And even when it's a totally shit day, I could have the worst day ever, and it's like, well, all right, I'm going to squat and I'm going to head to bed. And for whatever reason, I get that squat session in and I'm like, yeah, okay. Like, it's going to be all right. It's another day. This day gets checked off. And, one more in the books. That's my lesson. That's the big lesson. So the big lesson I learned from years of squatting every day, over 6 years straight now, is the fact that the important part isn't how much you squat. It isn't even important how many reps you do. It's just important that you do it every day, whatever that is. I think Dan Gable has a quote, if it's important, do it every day. And it's like, yeah, I do this thing, I check the box, and for whatever reason, I feel like the day is complete. The day would feel incomplete if I didn't. So that's the big lesson for you. And it doesn't have to be squats. Find something. Find something that you like doing, because I like to squat. Find something that you like doing and go do it. And do it every single day.